again, Kindermonkeys, Kinderguppies, Kindergartens. So we're back, and now it's time to color our drawing. All right, Mr. McComb had a hard time finding markers and crayons because I sent them all home to you. But I found a few things that will work. They might not be exactly what you guys have at home, but we're going to use the same method. So Mr. McComb has got a gray marker and a gray crayon. Now when you look at a picture of Gerald, he's got one color of gray, and then on his toenails another color of gray, and that color of gray is the same color that he's got up here in his eyes. And then he's got a darker color up there for his eyelids if his eyelids are half open. And then he's got black here for his mouth. So we don't really need a lot of different colors. And what Mr. McComb's going to do to make it easier is I'm going to keep the fingernails white and the eyes white. So really, we should only have to use the one color of gray. But we're also going to use our marker gray. And I'm going to start, guys, just like I always tell you in class. Outline. Do the outline with your marker. And when we do the outline, guys, is it a race? Are you trying to beat Mr. McComb? Are you trying to show Mommy and Daddy and Grandma and Grandpa and everybody else just how quick you can go? Or when we're doing art, is it important to try our best? Yeah, that's right. It's important to try our best. And how can we try our best? By going slowly, that's right. And Mr. McComb and everybody at home, nobody wants to hear, "I can't do it. It's too hard." Because you can just try your best. That's right, Moira. Just try your best. Nobody expects you to be perfect, and everybody's art is going to look different, and that's okay, right? Because, yes, Melody, everybody is different, and everybody is awesome. So, all of our art can be different, and that's okay. What Mr. McComb would really love is to see pictures of your finished Piggy and your finished Gerald art. I'd love you to send those back to me on the internet, and then Mr. McComb will look at them, and he'll send them out to the whole class. Now sometimes, guys, I'm using the big fat piece of the marker here, and sometimes I'm turning it on the end and using the skinny piece. Like when I did his fingernails, see how the line is skinnier there? So when I do the big line, that's the fat part of the marker. But then when I want to do something skinny, like these lines or his toenails, I'm going to turn it to use the sharp skinny piece. And again, your marker's not going to look exactly like Mr. McComb's, but that's okay. Even your marker's got a skinny end on it. And I'll do those pieces. And then up here, I'm going to do these marks all in marker. I'm not going to worry about using my crayon for these movement marks. But when I do his face, guys, I'm definitely going to use the skinny end of my marker. And remember to be careful around the eyes. We don't want them to be one great big gray blob, because those eyes show exactly how Gerald is feeling. Oh, that's how he's feeling. So I used the skinny end for my face, and then I'm going to come down here, guys, and again I'm going to use my marker. I'm not going to worry about using a crayon for these marks down here. And I'm being careful to trace right on top of my pencil marks, because I don't want it to be messy. First I outline, then I color. First I outline, then I color. And that's what we did even up with our picture of Gerald, right? Did I just jump into coloring the inside of his belly right away? Or did I take the time to outline? Yeah, that's right, Vincent. I took the time to outline. Mr. McComb always says, your art will look much neater if you outline it first when you color. I think that's true. And what I love to do, guys, and you'll remember this from in class, I love to outline with marker and then color the inside with a crayon. And when I color, am I going to color around and around and around and scribble? Or am I going to try and color the whole picture by making it go the same way? Because if I do part of this up here, and then part of this down there, and then a roundy and roundy and roundy there, will it look as nice as if I just colored in one way? That's right, just color it in one way and it'll look the nicest. Now, on the video, it might look like Mr. McComb's going fast, but that's just through the magic of the video, guys. You take your time, you go slow, and even though I've got it outlined in nice, thick marker, you can tell that Mr. McComb is still not rushing. I'm not scribbling. I really, really don't want to have my coloring, my crayon mark, I don't want that to go outside of my outline. So it's okay to go on top of his smile there, but you have to be really careful around the eyes because we're going to leave the inside of the eyes white. Yeah, that's right. I can go on top of the eyebrows, so that's okay a little bit. And I'm going only in one direction. You guys see that? Now after I finish his ear there, I'm going to lift my marker up, my crayon up. What do you guys think about that? Is that looking nice so far? Now I'm going to do the biggest part of his body, his belly. Elephants have great big bellies. Have you guys ever seen a real elephant? I've seen a real elephant. I saw it at the circus. A circus came to town a little while ago, a couple of years ago, and they had elephants. In fact, one of my kids even got to ride on the elephant. They didn't ride on the elephant's great big belly. They rode on the back of the elephant, which is the other side of the belly. So if the belly is big, the back is big too. So there you go. I've done his belly, and now I have to be careful around the arms because I don't want to scribble outside of the lines. Uh-oh, Mr. McComb made a mistake. That's okay. We're just going to try hard not to. And I don't want to go on top of his toenails. I want them to stay white. I'm going to come up here. And if you look at Mr. McComb's hand in the video right now, you'll see that Mr. McComb is holding his crayon with froggy legs. I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this. Froggy legs. That'll give you the best control over your crayon, right guys? And I come down here and I try not to push too hard with my crayon. I try to keep my crayon pushing at the same pressure the whole time. Because if I push too hard, then the crayon's mark looks different. And it looks like Mr. McComb is almost done with his picture of Gerald here, guys. So you were with Mr. McComb as I drew him, and now you've been with Mr. McComb as I've colored him. And I hope you guys have had as much fun following along as I did doing it. And at the end, Mr. McComb is going to sign his name. When I sign my name, am I going to use great big messy printing? No, I don't want to ruin my picture. So I'm going to use a nice sharp pencil, and you guys know how Mr. McComb always signs his art? That's right, Mr. McComb always uses M2, because there's two M's in my name. Mr. McComb. And this is how Mr. McComb spells M2 because he's being silly. And then I want to put a date on it, and I'm going to use really small printing. And if you guys have a hard time with small printing, you can ask your mommy or your daddy or your other grown-up at the house there. And it is April 2020. The 4 means April, because January, February, March, and April. And the 20 is for 2020. I hope you guys have had fun. Please send me a picture when you're all finished. Talk to you later.